question.
I think they have been really great choices. But I got 3 judges, and you know what they want to do? They want to now put up to 25 justices into the Supreme Court, the radical left, and that can't happen. So I think I've done a great job on putting in justices and 300 judges, and that made a tremendous difference in the country. You know, I was a little lucky because Barack Hussein Obama did not get his judges approved, a lot of them. So I ended up with 125 judges before I got there. So again, most presidents don't even get to put a Supreme Court judge in because there's 9. And, you know, they're there for a long time. Most of them are there for a very long time. And I got 3, which is a very unusual situation. I got 3 in 4 years.
Maybe we can change the subject to technology, seeing you wouldn't answer about the Federal Reserve. The US Justice Department is thinking about breaking up Alphabet, as Google likes to be known now. Should Google be broken up?
I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
The question is about Google, President Trump.
Yeah, look, Google's got a lot of power. They're very bad to me, very, very bad to me. I mean, I can speak from that standpoint. They only have bad stories. In other words, if I have 20 good stories and 20 bad stories, and everyone's entitled.
And shout out Marshling Gamer, man. What we need to do is look at true evil here. They use the media and news stations to trick gullible people into buying Biden and Kamala's bullshit. And hey, man, I feel you on that one, dog. We were just looking into this whole, well, I guess their economic plan, their estimations, and dog, this is the most skewed study I've ever seen. I mean, I don't know, chat. Follow me on this logic, because, like, and we got this from crfb.org, right? So it's both their fiscal plans.
It says it's a nonpartisan site.
Yeah, it says, but for some reason, under let's see, tax cuts and spending increases, somehow exempt overtime income from taxes is included in there. So because the government is not taking money from you, they're putting it as spending. I mean,
money
wild.
Unaccounted for, apparently.
Yeah, money unaccounted for that they're no longer being able to take from your overtime check. They're counting that as spending under Trump. I mean, how disingenuous can you get with this shit, bro? Literally, if you look it up, I promise you, you will literally see under tax cuts and spending increases, dog, they literally got as a spending on the government side. Even though the government is not spending anything, it's just not taking, overtime money is seen as a expense towards the government. And they're estimating for how many people get off on that overtime tax, they don't got to pay no more. That's how much is going to charge the government. I'm like, wow. So to keep money in our pockets is pretty much Donald Trump's tax plan, and they're saying it's going to increase government spending when it means it's going to decrease how much the government takes from you. Well, really takes from the U.S. citizens. That is what they're saying. Man, shout out to Big Wave Dave, man. Appreciate the support, big dog. Do you guys ever play that Carter family video I asked for? Oh yeah, remember we played the actual video they was reacting to. Now I'm trying to remember, what was it? Was it the Kamala Harris with the what she did to the black mother, or what one was it? Because I know I've actually I put up the actual video, but let me know.
To that, you'll only see the 20 bad stories. And I called the head of Google the other day and I said, I'm getting a lot of good stories lately, but you don't find them in Google. I think it's a whole rigged deal. I think Google's rigged just like our government is rigged all over the place.
You would break them up, in other words?
I'd do something, but you have to have, look, I give them a lot of credit. They've become such a power, and you got to give them credit for that. How they became a power is, really the discussion. At the same time, it's a very...
Hey, shout out Snow Megs. You like, what the fuck you doing first conspiracy hour tonight? Don't worry. That's going to be a good one. I got you. I'm going to announce it later in the stream, though. I got you, though.
Dangerous thing, because We want to have great companies. We don't want China to have these companies. Right now, China is afraid of Google. Right now, China is a very powerful, very smart group of people. I will tell you that from very personal experience.
There's an example of a Chinese tech company at the moment, TikTok.
Yeah.
You initially wanted to ban TikTok. Now you like it, apparently, for some reason to do with Facebook.
Yeah.
There is a decision coming up, if you became president,
Yeah.
its Chinese parent would have to sell it, I think it's by
Yeah.
January the 19th. Would you force them to do that?
So I originally had it all done, and then I said to Congress, your decision. I said, I'm not going to, pull any strings, nothing. Your decision. You make it. But I had it all done. And I said, you make it. And they decided not to make it. I didn't care if they made it or not, because to me it was a flip of a coin. You have some real First Amendment problems. You have a lot of problems.
You just talked about Chinese technology, the need to...
And shout out Big Wave Dave, man. I was on another channel. I was made a mod of he couldn't play it. I am happy you played it. Wish I was there for it. Yeah, he said I couldn't. He couldn't play it. I am. Oh yeah, bro. Of course. Yeah, of course, dog. I don't know why he couldn't play it. What was it? It must have been a Kamala supporter, because they be trying to dodge the truth for some reason. I mean, shoot, show me a video of somebody coming out against Donald Trump like that, and we'll play it. Show me a video, please, please, and we'll look into it and everything.
Fend against it, TikTok and the threat people see to many kind of American children and things like that.
Yeah, but
why do you no longer see TikTok as a security threat?
I think it is a threat. Frankly, I think everything's a threat. There's nothing that's not a threat. But sometimes you have to fight through these threats. You can't just, like Google. I'm not a fan of Google. They treat me badly. But are you going to destroy the company by doing that? If you do that, are you going to destroy the company? What you can do without breaking it up is make sure that it's more fair. They do treat me very badly. Oh, and he told me, no way, you're the #1 person on all of Google for stories. I mean, which probably makes sense, to be honest with you. I actually believe most of them are bad stories, but these are minor details, right? And it's only bad because of the fake news, because the news is really fake. That's the one we really have to straighten. We have to straighten out our press, because we have a corrupt press. That's the one we really.
Can I ask you about Silicon? I was in Silicon Valley recently. You talked to the tech bosses there and the tech people, and there seems to be a real fear that what you would do with tech is you would hand it over to Elon Musk and say, you sort it out.
No, I have great respect for Elon. Look, I saw that rocket ship come in yesterday and go right back to where it took off, to the gantry, I guess they call it. And I said, what the hell? I was on a phone talking about probably politics, and the television's on, and I'm seeing this big...
Shout out Big Wave Dave. No, he's a Trump supporter. It was because of the music. It's funny though, you'll all have more trolls than he does. I am happy that so many people want to show the truth. The mainstream media doesn't.
Oh, hey man, that's what we need outlets like S.E.T and Key Media for, man. The conversations that other people are scared to host, man, we bring to y'all unfiltered. Well, as unfiltered as you can on YouTube. And bro, we don't mind being on the forefront of this shit. Haters, lovers, man, it's all about conversation, bro. So glad y'all in here with us, man, and we'll continue to host these streams as long as y'all continue to come in here with us, man.
Oh God.
Big thing where the white paint was burned off it from the thousands of miles an hour, the heat. And I see this big, massive tube,
really even beyond
stories,
that,
20 stories tall, come down. I told the person on the phone, wait a minute, I'm seeing something that's, I don't believe it. Neither does anybody else here. And I said, wait a minute. I forgot the guy was on the phone. He waited for a half hour. And I watched that come down. And I watched it come down and come right in between.
Like the video if y'all haven't already, man. Quick pause for the cause. We got over 1,500 of y'all in here, man. Let's get the likes up. Let's go for 200, y'all. 200 likes. Double tap that screen, or you get the 3 buttons in the upper right-hand corner. It helps with the engagement, helps get the video pushed in the algorithm. And I know a lot of y'all disagree with Trump, but let's get some more folks in here. We can continue and increase the discourse and keep it going, man. It's been a fire stream. Let's keep it moving.
I said, and it looked to me like I was going to crash. It was coming in hot. And all of a sudden, boom, you see the motor, the fire kick in. And I called
Hey,
Elon,
thanks, Big
I
Wave.
said, that's the most incredible
Spreading
thing.
the word,
I
the
said,
good
can Russia
word.
do that? Nope. I said, can the United States do it? Nope. He's the only one that can do it. And I said,
You now want to put him in charge of deregulation.
not deregulation, cutting.
Cutting wasteful spending.
Cutting.
Every single
Which would
president,
include
including
deregulation.
every president comes in and talks about cutting wasteful spending.
Oh, there's tremendous waste.
Give me an example of something you will do that will get rid of government spending.
Well, let me give you an example. When I came into government, I was the first
An
thing.
example going forward,
Well,
not
no, but
what you
this
did in the
is
past.
going forward because it's the same thing. When I first sat down, a general came into my office and he said, "Sir, it's nice to meet you. Would you please sign this?" I said, "What is it?" "It's a contract for a new Air Force One, which is actually 2 planes, not one, 2 Boeing 747. And I said, "How much is it?" $5.7 billion. It's a hell of an expensive plane, but there's reasons for that. He said, "Nope, I'm not signing it." I said, "Who negotiated it?" "Barack Hussein Obama." I said, "I'm not signing it." "Why?" Because there's a lot of fat. I said, "I'm not signing it. It's got to have a 3 on it." Anyway, long story short, some of you have heard this. I got it down to, because first week they cut off $400 million. He said, "I'll cut." I met with the head of Boeing. "Wait, Dennis." I said, "Dennis, you got to have a 3. 5.7 is too much. 5.7 billion." He said, "The most I'll take off is $400 million. I said, "Well, that's not bad for one conversation." So he got it down. I said, "Nope, I'm not accepting." Then he took off 2 more. Then he took off. Anyway, 2 months went by, 3 months went by. I thought we blew the deal, and it was okay with me. I didn't care. But we should have a new Air Force One. When we see these planes from Saudi Arabia, from different countries, brand new, and ours is like 32 years old, and it's a very different plane. It's a much smaller plane, the whole thing. The United States should have the best plane, I will tell you. Not for me, but we should have.
Let me give you an example.
Finish. He said, he calls up after like 2-3 months. I didn't call him, which is the best way to buy something. Don't call back. And he goes, in fact, when he called me, I said, "I wonder what the hell he wants." That's a good way to negotiate.
Got a lot of y'all joining in, man. If you're just now joining the stream, man, appreciate y'all tuning in to S.E.T Key Media tonight, man. Make sure to double tap that screen, or you can hit the 3 buttons in the upper right-hand corner, man. Let's get some more folks in here. Continue the discourse. You ain't got to like Trump. You can hate him, man. Let's continue the conversation, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Let's go.
Let me tell you. So he calls back, said, "Sir, $3,999,999,99 1 penny below $4 billion." So I said, "You got yourself a deal." Then I said to him, "Let me ask you a question. So you had a deal at $5.7 billion, and in a period of 2 months, I got $1.7 billion off. That means you were going to make $1.7 billion profit on an airplane. Did nobody ever negotiate with you?" "Well, not really, sir. This is the price." And they said, "We'll take it." And I said, and then I learned, that was my first experience, from that. But then I learned everything is like that. There is so much waste. So I'm getting, think of this, the exact same plane.
Purposeful
For
overspending.
1.7 billion less, except I have a better paint job. Okay, much better paint job. A different color, red, white, and blue is beautiful. And if you look at every contract, that's one contract, and relatively small compared to most. Think of it. You save 1.7 billion because you negotiate. Every deal is like that. We're building ships that are costing 2-3 times more.
Can you give me an example of something
There's tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse in our country. And if you could cut it, you would have a surplus without even going into growth. But growth, we will grow. We're going to bring companies and jobs in at levels that you've never seen. And you would never be able to do it because you're not a believer in tariffs. The only way, let me tell you, the only way you can do it is through the threat.
This man Trump's a savage. He's a savage. He's pretty much talking like, bro, economic, like, bro, really walking this man like a dog, low cute, like talking in circles around him, just being like, dog, I'm telling you my plan, but obviously you can't understand it because you don't understand how tariffs work. Like, yeah. If I'm trying to tell you a financial tool that you don't understand how it could benefit or hurt, then what am I talking to you for? You obviously don't know what you're talking about. Like, he just up there being smug for no reason. And I can understand bro's rich, but let's be real though. It is kind of crazy how they say, oh, well, Trump is going to add more spending because the government is not going to be able to collect more taxes. Wild.
Never seen. And you would never be able to do it because you're not a believer in tariffs.
I'm not running for president.
Let me tell you, the only way you can do it is through the threat of tariffs. It's the only way you can do it.
Can we come back to one thing on that? Deal making. You look out across this room, there's some big businesses, but a lot of small ones. You look at the way you've given us a lot of examples of things where you've negotiated with the heads of big businesses.
Right.
Give you an example. When you put the tariffs on China, much smaller than you're planning to do at the moment, when you put them on, Apple came, you negotiated a difference for them.
I did.
That's much harder for small business people. Isn't the problem with the way that you do these kind of deals? You're bound to deal with the big companies. It's the small companies who get hit by all these different things and can't find exceptions.
Oh, we have exceptions. No, we had an exception rule. I gave Apple an exception. Tim Cook is a great business.
Apple is not a small company, and please don't give
but
Tim Cook.
But here's what happened.
The question is about small
Apple
business.
has the biggest
But
market
what would
cap
you do for
like
them?
of all
Actually,
time.
I would relate it to this point. I'd be like, all right, hold on. Why wouldn't I worry about these big businesses when they supply to these small businesses? I mean, Apple do supply to these small little tech stores, right? Where you go in and buy an iPhone for the low. So what are you talking about, G? Is like, we got to make sure the corporations do well so they can give so they can, supply these small businesses. I mean, even your mom and pop restaurant got to use Heinz for the condiments. Think about that.
No, but we have a very talented group of people. Bob Lighthizer did a very good job. We had great people. We had central casting. These are great, and a large group of people. We made exceptions. In the case of Apple, they needed an exception. You know why? Because of Samsung. He came to me and he said...
And no, he didn't say Apple was a small business, so cut that out, guys. He's using them as an example of exceptions that he'd allow to business. That's what I don't like, because they kind of interrupt them so they can clip them up on some crazy stuff. I'm like, nah, he's using Apple as an example of him letting a company off with an exception.
Anytime Trump speaks. It's the same strategy anytime this man speaks. Like, it was kind of funny watching that Nelk interview the other day. He himself realized, like, I think they asked him a specific question. I can't remember what exactly was said, but they asked him something and he was like, yeah, let me divert because knowing the left-leaning liberal media, they'll clip me up. And he weaved right around the question.
He's like, I got to hit them with the weave.
In a large group of people, we made exceptions. In the case of Apple, they needed an exception. You know why? Because of Samsung. He came to me and he said, Samsung makes a product similar to ours, very good product, the phones and other things. And because they're in South Korea, they don't have the tariffs. Because we're in China, we have the tariffs. I said, you happen to be right. You're not going to be able to compete. I said, look, I'm going to give you a 1-year break, but I want you to start building your factories in this country, whether it's Texas or any other place, anywhere in the country. And he said, what does that mean? I said, you have everything in China. I want you to move it from China back to our country. And he started doing that. And he built a factory, a big one in Texas. He built another one. And this was all a process. It was all happening. But I did give him an exception. And the reason was, he said, as soon as he said Samsung, I said, how is that product compared to yours? He said, it's a good product. I said, then you really can't compete. You can't have a 25 or 50% tariff and compete, right? Yeah. And I said, I'm giving you an exception. And I did it for many companies.
But what happens if how do small businesses come and see you? That was the question.
But we do it for small businesses too. We do it for small business. I'll give you who I didn't know, but he came to me. He was at a meeting. And he built kitchen cabinets. And he was, pretty big in the business. That's all he did is build kitchen cabinets. He said, sir, China and South Korea are building kitchen cabinets for 1/3 of what I can make them. I said, what's the quality? They're not as good, but they're good enough. I can't compete. I'm going out of business. I'm going out of business. I put a 25% tariff still on kitchen cabinets. I saw the guy 3 days ago. He said, I'm the man that saw you about kitchen cabinets. You saved my company when you did the tariff. and you save thousands of jobs. And my company is now doing very well.
Yeah, because these tariffs pretty much still keep competition. I'm telling you, a lot of these small businesses, bro, people can come in and give smaller and give cheaper services due to some of these prices that they get on their equipment due to Chinese prices. And some people like their quality and they get the American made, you know, materials or whatever products they want to sell. The problem is we can't compete without these tariffs. The fact that China can pay these people $2 an hour with a low corporate tax and send it over here, and we're talking about, and they get barely any tariff, barely any like entry fee. That's what I consider a tariff on their import. It's an entry fee. Cool. You want to sell it here? Great. Here's the entry fee. Oh, we got to raise our price. Perfect. Because our price is here and your price is down there, and we need to meet in the middle here for competition reasons.
Shout out Snow Mexican man chiming in with $2 Canadian, man. He says,
MAGA, Trump 2024. Smash that like button, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
And he started to cry. And this guy hasn't cried too much, I will tell you. He said, you saved my company. There's nobody that could have done that.
Maybe I can ask you then about something else. Yeah. Business people here in this room, business people, capital markets, they all like the rule of law. They like certainty. The Chinese, who you mentioned, other dictators,
right?
They don't like it when things go wrong. They like it when things go wrong in America. If you look at the events of January the 6th, 2021, it showed to many people America's democracy was unruly and violent. Only 3 weeks to go to the election. Will you commit now to respecting and encouraging a peaceful transfer of power?
Well, you had a peaceful transfer of power.
You had a peaceful transfer of power. You had a peaceful. Come on, President Trump. You had a peaceful transfer of power compared with Venezuela, but it was by far the worst transfer of power for a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because this is what they like to do. This is what they like to do.
The question, President Trump, is: would you respect the decision?
When I found out about this interview, I did a little check. This is a man that has not been a big Trump fan over the years. So I had a choice. Do I do this interview or not? I'm glad I did it. But do I do this interview or do I disappoint a lot of people? Because I know a lot of people in the audience. But his view is very different than mine. Let me just tell you.
I'm asking you a question, Trustro.
We had a term, peacefully and patriotically. These were people. If you think an election is crooked, and I do, 100%, if you think the day it comes when you can't protest, you take a look at the Democrats. They protested 2016. They're still protesting it. Nobody talks about them. But if we protest, we want to have honest elections. You think the last election was honest?
All the times it went to courts, the courts sided with the other.
They went to court, and the courts all said, you don't have standing. Nobody had standing. Yeah. And it's hard, frankly, after an election for a judge, but they all said you don't. Nobody ever had standing. But the facts, if you take a look, I'd show you hundreds of pages of facts. People were angry. People went there. And I'll tell you what, they never show that. The primary scene in Washington was hundreds of thousands, the largest group of people I've ever spoken before, and I've spoken before. And it was love and peace. And some people went to the Capitol, and a lot of strange things happened there. A lot of strange things with people being waved into the Capitol by police, with people screaming, go in, that never got into trouble, you know? I don't want to mention names, but you know who they are. A lot of strange things happened. But you had a peaceful, very peaceful. I left the morning that I was supposed to leave. I went to Florida, and you had a very peaceful transfer. This was not and I'll tell you what, those people that did go down, which was a tiny fraction of the people that went to Washington. I mean, you're talking about a very, very small, because there are hundreds of thousands of people, and I don't know what you had, 500, 600, 700 people go down to the Capitol. But those people, that was not one of those people had a gun. Nobody was killed.
Bro, it's crazy. It's 4 years later, and they still trying to attach that narrative of insurrection on January 6th to Trump. They want to paint him as the leader of an insurrectionist. They want to paint him as a felon, an SA'er. It's any they're throwing whatever narrative that'll stick, like throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this man and seeing what'll stick, just so people are, I guess, disincentivized to vote for the man. Like, they've really tried to criminalize this man to no end, and he's still here. The assassination attempts to boot. It's like, what more can they do to the man? Hey, it's crazy as hell. And they want to attach that insurrection label, and that's just so funny to me because I really don't agree with the classification of an insurrection. It really is more akin to the Summer of Love. Yeah, the BLM protests, the BLM riots that plagued every mid to major size city across America. Like, it tore up everybody's local town, caused billions of dollars in damage, but instead of being disavowed, it was celebrated by media and celebrities and influencers alike. But they want to hop on these insurrectionists' ass. They want to throw these insurrectionists' ass in federal prison. But the BLM protesters got bailed out. Like, bro, you got to miss me with some of this shit.
Except for Ashley Babbitt, she was killed. She was killed. She was shot in the head by a policeman what he did was horrible.
President Trump, maybe let's.
So I think we should be allowed to disagree on that. And obviously, you see by the reaction in this room.
Let's return to one other big subject that you bring up repeatedly: immigration.
Yeah.
I know it's a very emotive issue for you, but just from the point of view of business people here, you look at the full effect of taking a lot of people out of the workforce, removing a lot of people. The Congressional Budget Office is banking on the fact that there'll be $9 trillion added to the GDP of America over the next 10 years by immigrants. You want to stop that process. For all the people who run businesses in the audience, I'm just focusing on the economic thing. Are you prepared to say, look, it's fine to have a slightly smaller economy in exchange for having the immigration controls you want?
Simple answer. I want a lot of people to come into our country, but I want them to come in legally.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to have...
Life ain't fair, but in terms in the concept of immigration into America, one of the best economically progressive countries in the world, I'm pro-America. I'm fuck America first. I'm America only. So yes, I hold us in high regard, and yes, it should be a strenuous process in getting over here. And no, we shouldn't just be letting anybody and their mama literally come over here. Like, and to Trump's point, like, yeah, I'm all for immigration. Legally, when you go through the process, yeah, it's hard, but it's not supposed to be easy, and it's completely disingenuous to the folks that are waiting. It's a long, strenuous process. It can be expensive, stressful. It's completely disingenuous to those folks who are trying to come over here legally, morally, versus the people who know they can just show up at the border and due to the Kamala's TPS program, say they're seeking asylum and get shipped off to one of these sanctuary cities in a high rise somewhere downtown. It's ridiculous.
That means you will have...
Big Wave Dave, you want to play it again, bro?
You are talking.
You want to play that Big Wave Dave video again?
People. That is a lot of people to take out.
Black woman video.
Confirm if it's the black mother video with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, let me know, Dave. I'm looking for you in the chat.
That 425,000 people are horrible criminals at the highest level, but it came out that 13,099 were let in during their administration.
All right.
They tried to say it longer. Wrong. Gotcha. Over the last 3.5 years, 13,000 plus people came in, murderers. They're in jail for murder. Some were having the death penalty. They were all released into our country. 13,099 people were released into our country. We had drug dealers released. We had street gangs released. Look at what's happening.
I ain't gonna like this one.
Aurora, but now
y'all hate Trump talking now. Y'all gonna hate this video about Kamala.
Last night in Times Square, where rough migrants from
put your feelings
all
away.
over
Ain't nothing but facts.
the place. It's not just South America. We have people coming in from the Congo, large numbers from the Congo and Africa. They came in as of last night. I was speaking to Tom Homan. 180.
Carmela, Camel-toe, chlamydia, hair ass. Man, I'll call it whatever the hell I want to. Y'all call Trump all type of stuff. Y'all libel this man all day. It's only fair. Back and forth is only fair.
Countries, people came in.
It's called blood
They came
sport
from
politics.
prisons and jails. They came from mental institutions and insane asylums, a step above. They came from the terrorists. We had large numbers of terrorists come in. When I was president, we had the strongest border in the history of our country. I built hundreds of miles of
Shout out Big Wave Dave, man. Facts. Appreciate the support.
Yes, sir.
wall, and walls work, by the way. Hundreds of miles. We had the best numbers we've ever had. Now we have the worst numbers. And here's the problem. We have some of the worst criminals in the world coming in. Now, Venezuela, their crime has gone down at levels that nobody's ever seen before because they've taken their street gangs and their drug dealers and they've emptied their prisons. Not fully because they can't get enough buses. They've emptied their prisons. They load up the buses and they drive them into the United States and they're dropping their prisoners into our country. Their crime is down. Their numbers are crazy how low it's dropped. I heard 72, 74%. They've taken their gangs. They've taken their criminals off the street. They've taken their people out of mental institutions, which cost them a fortune, and they've taken them and dropped them into the United States of America. Those people have to be returned. We can't live with thousands of murderers and not.
The issue I asked you about was the idea that if you reduce immigration, every economist will tell you, if you have fewer people, there is a smaller economy.
I like immigration, but they've got to come in legally.
Okay. Well, let's finish on two.
No, I want to make sure. Look, I don't want to have people that have killed 9 people and they're a sadistic, crazy nut job. We have to have people that can love our country, that will obey the laws, everything else. You have hundreds of thousands of criminals being dropped in, and Venezuela is one country. Look at what they have done, though.
And shout out Big Wave Dave. On her knees, Kamala, from worst rated VP to savior, please.
Man, VP delegates didn't, Democratic delegates didn't even know if they wanted to prop her up to be the replacement or not. I heard Gavin Newsom. Who was the other Democratic candidate they might have been replaced Biden with?
Damn, bro, they were talking about Michelle Obama.
They were talking about going back in the ranks and grabbing Hillary.
Man, so
anybody but Kamala. So even her own
team knew
she didn't really think that she should have been the next man up or the next woman up.
But they had to wing it though. Wing it no matter what.
And they was running out of time. They had to think of something fast. Biden was clearly declining faster than anybody anticipated.
Oh yeah, and Big Wave Day, we got that video, big dog. We got the video in the queue.
In Aurora, they've taken over apartment complexes. They've gone into the real estate business. See, they're like us, except they've done it with MK, whatever the hell they're called, right? I mean, they have weapons that are so sophisticated our military doesn't have them. They've taken over parts of cities. In Colorado, you have a place called...
Hold on now.
You missed that? He said with MK, whatever they call it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Criminals being dropped in. And Venezuela is one country. Look at what they have done, though. In Aurora, they've taken over apartment complexes. They've gone into the real estate business. See, they're like us, except they've done it with MK, whatever the hell they're called, right? I mean, they have weapons that are so sophisticated our military doesn't have them. They've taken over parts of cities. In Colorado, you have a place called beautiful Aurora. Take a look at what's happened to Springfield, Ohio, where they dropped 30,000 people into a community of 50,000 people, and it's total bedlam. The hospitals can't be used anymore by the residents. The schools can't be used by the children that were there last year because other people that don't even...
Residents are being priced out of their houses because, well... They're going off.
The government is subsidizing houses for these people.
Yep. So what this lady was paying maybe like $1,500. Well, the government's subsidizing these immigrants.
So when a local landlord can raise the rent up to
$1,800 and
the government's going to subsidize $1,600 of that, and the immigrant only has to pay $200 for him and his 10 family members, what does that do to the rest of the residents who've been there for 10, 20 years, a generation or two? Bro, yeah, they're priced out.
And they're not going to...
Effectively.
Bro, they're not going to investigate this. I always said, well, how come no liberal medias visit none of these places?
Well, their mayor and their city manager said there wasn't an issue. And despite, I mean, the national headline being they're eating the dogs, there is a serious problem with this incepted immigration class in Springfield, Ohio, and cities alike. Like I always say, Springfield is just a microcosm of the issue across America.
Yeah, and there's citizens actually speaking out, talking about, they're literally eating the cats, the dogs, the duck. They're taking the ducks out the pond. Like
that aside, bro, what about the resources that these people have to compete for? Springfield was already a hurting city. Like many others.
They
so it's
just got
like,
their factory just for them to temp service it out with immigrants.
it's unfair.
And then talking about, they was the one that wanted to work. No, y'all didn't even give these people a chance.
Even speak the language.
The issue I asked you about, many companies here have a shortage of labor.
Yeah, that's good. We'll take care of that. We're going to get people in here rapidly, and they're going to be people that want to be in here, and they're going to be people that can love our country and won't kill people because they don't like the way they look.
Finish
that's my car
Some
payment,
of
bro.
these
That's
killers
my insurance,
are
bro.
among the
Like,
most evil killers. They will look at you down, the beautiful woman there. They'll look at you and they will kill you. These are seriously sick people. And no, I don't want them in our country. And they are in our country right now. And they're in there because Kamala Harris, who's our border czar, is an incompetent person.
Trump, for the record, as you know, the crime rate is lower. Can I finish with two questions? The first, you just said it. You don't do old. You own and run businesses.
Yeah.
Would you appoint a CEO who was 78? And you didn't give you a medical.
I would. Depends on this. I met people like Biden, who's
he was
in bad
experienced
shape.
and
I wouldn't
alert.
appoint
Like, I
him.
hate how people try and talk about Trump's age. Like, that wasn't even a topic of conversation until everybody, even Democrats, were calling out Biden's cognitive decline.
Yep.
Now, because Trump's the oldest person in the race by definition,
Now
y'all
it's a
wanna
problem.
flip it on him. Like, hold on a second. Wasn't nobody talking about this, man? He's as sharp as a tack.
Hold on, nobody was talking about age when Biden was running.
Bro, he even admitted himself he's took several cognition tests just to prove or disprove any narrative, and it's just like, okay, well, because I'm the oldest now, y'all want to put that on me? Like, bullshit. Like, y'all wanted to ignore Biden's stumbling ass on the stage for the past 2 years, but now it's all on me?
So y'all was willing to ignore 82, but you can't ignore 78.
Like, come on.
Like, okay.
He's 81 or 82. He's 4 years older. But I'd appoint, I know some of the smartest people I know. I know a man that made all of his money from the time he was 80 to 90, and he was a failure all his life.
Damn.
He was in the drinks business, the different.
Strangely, you didn't bring
I
this
like
up when
that.
you
Talk
were
that
running.
talk, Trump. I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
And shout out Big Wave Dave. You want to read that shit?
Yeah, Dems always project. Yes, they do. They always project onto you. What they're doing to them, what they're doing them damn selves, they always project onto you.
The time he was 80 to 90, and he was a failure all his life. He was in the drinks business.
Y'all hate Kamala. Y'all think she's stupid. Y'all think she's intellectually inept. And I'm like, bro, everybody did 2 months ago.
I mean,
like, what?
I mean, if you look at what that black plan that she had for whatchamacallit, black people, I mean, that's, you gotta be a little slow to come up with stuff like this.
James Foley, David, what's up, bro?
Like, come on, bro. Are y'all serious? Like, how racist is this? Kamala Harris will create an opportunity agenda for black men. You know, just like, what was it? Trump's opportunity zones.
That's 20 billion, by the way. 20 billion. That wasn't going into that tax estimation.
So
that tax proposal that you just read aloud.
Out of percentage of adults that's 18 plus, what would you think the percentage would be for, I don't know, African Americans who want to start a business or, you know, entrepreneur, you know, you feel me?
The number's probably greater than 1 million.
Yeah, you know, especially out of 31.9 million African American adults, 18 and older.
So based off of statistics, this makes the loan scarce.
Yeah, it makes it damn near nothing. Like only 1 million out of how many?
Not applicable to a lot of black men, actually.
Yep. Support education, training, and mentorship programs that lead to good paying jobs for black men, including pathways to becoming teachers. So when was a teacher ever a good paying job?
You know, as I read this couldn't even stand next to Trump's platinum plan.
It really couldn't.
This has no legs to stand on compared to it, actually. Like Trump's platinum plan, just Trump. No pun intended. It trumps this.
Hey, bro. Apparently, you think we're stupid about cryptocurrency. Protect cryptocurrency investments so black men who make them know their money is safe.
Well, crypto is
It
decentralized.
been safe. It been better. It been a safe way to keep your money.
People are scared that
What?
the government is going to start to regulate
Wait,
it. That's the fear.
Oh, so you think we're stupid? Oh,
That's the
So
fear.
you think black men don't know about cryptocurrency? Okay, got you, Kamala. Understood.
Yeah, like, bro, the true fear with crypto is that the government starts to add regulation. The whole concept is for it to be decentralized.
I'm weak, man. And now launch a health initiative focusing on the illnesses that disproportionately impact black men. I mean, well, heart attack, but then again, though, let's be real. You just fixed the diets
heart
of
disease.
people in general, or everybody's health is gonna get together. Honestly,
Prostate cancer for whatever reason.
any type of illness that disproportionately attacks black people, or let's say black
Diabetes.
men, is usually a diet problem or a fitness problem. You feel me? Man, legalize
OT.
recreational marijuana and create opportunity for black Americans to succeed in this new industry. New industry, nigga, it's been around since, 2024? Like, wait, what?
Bro, they just now starting to let us in now that the money's been made. What do you mean?
Bro,
People have already made their money in
bro,
marijuana. It's saturated now. At this
Bro,
point.
I remember when they was selling licenses up here and they all got sold out of weed licenses.
Bro, I remember when they were talking about adding legalization to Ohio, people were already starting to file. Companies were already starting to trademark names and brand names. So this is an industry that's already kind of came to prominence.
Oh.
People have already made their money, and
Oh,
ultimately
key.
is saturated.
Oh, key.
Oversaturated.
And we missed this one part, right? Right. So the providing 1 million loans, only 1 million that are fully forgivable.
Bro, this is
And look, the 20K for black entrepreneurs and others.
Bro, do the math on that real quick. I already did. It's $20 billion.
Yeah.
That wasn't a part of her estimates for her tax plan. So that alone, if you add that in, that's what I'm saying. Like some of these economists, these professionals that do these tax estimations and how they're going to affect the economy, the taxpayer, it's completely disingenuous because first of all, like I said, it's a rough estimate. And then just off of the one we just read aloud for y'all, it doesn't even take into account this 20 billion right here. This 20 billion she says is going to be fully forgivable. Now it sounds good, but I'm just like anything else, Kamala, how are we going to do it?
Like $20 billion for
How?
fully forgivable business loans to black entrepreneurs and others. Who are the others, Kamala? I thought it was supposed to be an opportunity for black men. Who the fuck is others? But okay, I digress. I guess. And shout out James Foley, man. He said, "What is black and others? Systematic racism?" That's what I'm thinking, bro. What is black and other? Who the fuck is other? I'm sorry, but who the hell is others, bro? She kills me with this stuff sometimes. I'm like, bro, who wrote this for you?
Is the
Strange.
You need to
you
take
didn't
it back
bring this
to
up
him.
but you were running
How,
against Joe
Sway?
Biden.
No, I never attacked him for his age. In fact, I used to defend him on his age.
I think that's-
attacked him for his lack of competence.
I've asked you all these questions.
By the way, just because I think it's important, and I know you do too. I know so many people in their 80s that are among. Bernie Marcus is 95, the founder of Home Depot. You have that conversation with him. He's just as sharp as he mentally. He's just as sharp as he ever was. He's 95. I can tell you that in their 90s. I don't want to get into the 90s stuff, but you know what? I know many people in their 80s. I know guys in their 80s that won't leave the company, like family companies where they don't want the kids to take over because they're much more competent than their kids. I know them both, right? So no,
This
I
new
would have no
generation's
problem.
lazy as hell
And
to
you
that
do have
point.
another factor. You know, we've had some of our great
on the Supreme Court. You just said
some
you
of our
don't do
great
well.
world leaders are in the 80s. And if you look throughout history, some of our greatest world leaders were in their 80s. No, that would bother me. But, you know, I took 2 cognitive tests, and I aced them both.
see?
I think that, frankly, people,
I've seen that on my
regardless,
timeline.
should take,
Shout out
if
Fox
they're
State
50 or
1993 coming in with 5. He says, "Can I just point out if Trump said what he's going to do for a white man? Hey,
Oh
you ain't lying,
boy,
G.
I mean,
You ain't lying, bro.
I mean, bro, that would be so hilarious. I'd have to.
I
give
ain't
it to
saying
y'all.
I'm against the black man plan that she got to, give us some bucks, but bro, you ain't wrong when you're right.
I mean, what plan?
You ain't wrong when you're right, Fox Chase. I'll give you that.
It's not a plan. It's just lofty idealism. It's not even lofty ideas. Shit that we already know. It's like, oh, we're gonna get black men hip to cryptocurrency. I'm like, bro, there's black men that are leading in cryptocurrency. Like, what are you talking about? We already know about cryptocurrency.
She late to the game on that one.
bro, thinking it's like I said, she think we're stupid. Like if this doesn't prove to you that they think we're stupid, I don't know what, bro. I just don't know what. The fact if you really think $20 billion to give out only 1 million loans, that's what supposed to be shared among, not even shared, but what, to go out to the lucky 31.9 million black people. Oh wait, others. So we don't know who the hell that is. You might as well include the whole American population in that.
She probably talking about these undocumented that she claims aren't illegals.
So it's always about the It's always about the immigrants. It's always the immigrants.
Oh yeah, she immigrant first, not America
man.
first, but immigration first.
Man,
shout out Big Wave Dave.
And nothing about this is about race. It's about red, white, and blue, man. And that's fact.
Hey,
and that's facts.
Like how you said that, bro. Smooth.
40, or I think people should take cognitive tests, not because of the age, but because of something else. Now, here's the problem. They say it's unconstitutional, okay? But I would love to see cognitive tests. I don't think she could pass a cognitive test. I mean, I've watched. I don't think she could pass a cognitive test.
President Trump, you've gone over many issues on this.
Man. Appreciate that. He says telling black people they need anything is not fact.
Yeah, like Obama.
It just links to the victimhood mentality that's been built up by the same party. It's been subsequently built up by the same party. Kind of ironic, isn't it? How they keep playing on that. Like, nah, we're going to help you all out. We got y'all back. Like, hold on. What y'all ever did for us? And more people are starting to wake up to it, though.
I asked you many questions about things. One thing I haven't asked at all about is the state of the race. Have they had ours?
Yeah.
I had a question for you. On election night, which state would you look at first? Which state do you think this race is going to be decided by?
So they say Pennsylvania, I would say most. I think we're doing very well there. I think you look at Michigan, too, and I'm doing very well there. You know, we don't have to look necessarily. The votes are starting to come in now. So you look at polls, but you can also look at...
Shout out Fox Chase, man. She couldn't pass a sober test. I'm like, damn. Hey, man. Neither could Tim Walz, especially according to that DUI charge he got. Neither could Tim Walz.
The votes that are being cast right now, people get a pretty good indication. And based, as we discussed backstage, you know, based on the votes that are coming in so far, we're doing very well. I mean, we're way up in Pennsylvania. We're way up in Michigan. We're doing very well in Arizona. I saw Arizona. In fact, somebody said they're going to pull the plug in Arizona. They're going to give it up because it looks like we're quite a ways ahead. I think we're doing well. Look, this is a party, the Republican Party.
Arizona, we got Wisconsin, we got Michigan, we got PA. Those are the battleground states right now. There's a couple others I'm probably missing. But if you in any of those states listed, man, make sure you're registered. Make sure your friends and family are. And if applicable, go ahead and sign up for early voting as well, man. It's imperative that you guys get out and show out. Like PBD said early on his podcast, we don't need people that's registered and be like, I don't know how I feel. I think I'm going to hold back. Like, nah. Show up in droves. I don't care if you got to drive. I don't care if you got to carpool. I don't care if you got to buy your friend lunch.
Yeah, so if you're in Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and you going for Trump, go out there and vote. We don't know if you're going towards us or not. We just don't know. Last week we knew. This week, for some reason, the goddamn air. So let's make sure we hone it down, man. I'm talking about my people in PA, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada. Let's show out here.
Show up and show out. Like Trump says, it's too big to rig, man.
Because right now the national average done changed, man. They got Kamala up. But
now is not the time for complaints. It's the time for action. This is a call to action, really.
Yeah, but we got Trump up in Arizona. Trump up in Georgia. Trump is up in Michigan. Trump is up in Nevada. Trump is up in North Carolina. Trump is now up in Pennsylvania. Actually, he was losing in Pennsylvania last week. And now he's also up in Wisconsin. So honestly, it's kind of weird. But they still got Kamala Harris a little bit ahead. Trump with 219 electoral votes. And we got Harris with 226. We are still waiting for the results of these states.
And the race is still ongoing, y'all. As y'all can see, it's in the balance. It's a very precarious situation right now. So don't feel like Trump got it. Don't feel like it's a shoe-in. Don't feel like your vote don't count. Like I said, now is the time for action and not complaining. So make sure, like I said, to show out November 5th. If applicable, man, go ahead and get that early voting in, man. Friends and family, bro.
And double tap that screen real quick and like the video at 3 dots up there in the corner. We appreciate the support.
As well as we got got a couple super chats, man. Shout out Fox Chase 93 says she couldn't pass a sober test, even if she wanted to, dog. That's the crazy thing. Shout out Michael Ryan coming in with another 2. He says people flew blue states to move to red ones for a reason.
Man.
Elon Musk mainly. That was like one of the biggest companies in California, funny enough, and they got big companies out there.
Man.
Shout out James Foley coming in with $2. Kamala couldn't pass that 23 and nah, facts, man. She put that 23andMe in, that Ancestry.com, man. She come back damn near a full-blooded mutt. Like,
No, I'm done.
God damn.
Of common sense.
We're gonna see Jamaican,
Forget about
we're gonna
conservative,
see
liberal.
Irish,
We're
Indian.
Let's say conservative, but we're really a party of. We need borders. We need fair elections. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want transgender operations without parental consent. You know, there's so many things, but it's 99.9% is common sense. It really is common sense. And I like to say it. I don't know if anyone said it in the past, but I say we're really a party of common sense, and we want to have great people in our country. I want to have a lot of people come in so that you have your choice and so that they have choice. I want to, I have a good heart. I have a heart where I want people to be taken care of, but I don't want to take in people where millions of people, 21 million people at least, have come in the last 3.5 years, unvetted, unchecked. We don't know anything about them. How about this? Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California.
Newsom.
He signed.
Weak, man. How long before the video? Oh, yeah, because he's trying to get these Kamal supporters sick right now. Shout out Big Wave Dave. Yeah, actually.
These videos actually closing out as you said.
As you asked, so we might as well go to your video, to be honest, dog. Might as well. I got
timing
you.
on that was hilarious.
Yeah, like perfect timing. Because he's like, well, might as well. Shoot. All right, let's get it, man. Now, Kamala supporters, sit on your fingers.